Like a garden snail leaves a trail behind, a story snail leaves a tail behind. Share our stories and you may find you can tell a story too.
Hello everybody! Did you know that the 8th of March is International Women's Day? It's a special day when we can remember and celebrate the fact that women today have rights and can make choices about their own lives, and that's something that they haven't always been able to do. So today I want to tell you a story about a girl who was very good at making choices and deciding what she wanted to do in her life. And the story starts like this. Once upon a time, there was a sleepy little town next to nowhere in particular where nothing much happened. It doesn't sound much like a good story beginning, does it? But this town had a mayor who was very proud of the fact that his town was very peaceful and quiet and that nothing much happened. There were never any riots, there was never any fighting, there were no ugly scenes in his town. And the mayor, he had lots of chins, he looked a bit like this. And he used to say, peace and calm, those are the most important things. Now, the mayor had one daughter whose name was Louisa Freya. And whenever Louisa Freya was a bit stubborn or argumentative, her father, the mayor, would say to her, peace and calm, Louisa Freya, peace and calm, those are the most important things. Unfortunately, the peace of the little town was disturbed one day by the arrival of a huge 7-headed dragon, which took up residence just outside the town gates and started to tuck in to the people who lived there. Now you can imagine that the mayor was a bit rattled by that happening, but he was very intent on sorting the situation out as quickly as possible, so he sent a few messages to and from the dragon, and very soon it was agreed that the dragon would be allowed to live outside the town, and that the mayor would send out one person every week to be gobbled up by the dragon, and then the dragon would agree not to come in and eat everybody else. When Louisa Freya heard about that arrangement, she was furious. She went to her father with her hands on her hips, and she stamped her foot and said, you can't just feed people to the dragon. We have to go out there and fight it. But her father, the mayor, said, peace and calm, Louisa Freya, peace and calm. Far better that a few people should be eaten than the whole town be destroyed. And all Louisa Freya could think to say to that was, nonsense, for which she was sent to her room. So the mayor took a big basket, and on little slips of paper he wrote the names of all the people on the town and filled up the basket with them. Then every week he would pull out one of the names from the basket, and the person who was named on the paper would be sent outside the town to be eaten by the dragon. The first week it was Tim, the blacksmith's son. And Louisa Freya went to her father in tears. Oh no, not Tim! Please not him! You can't let him be eaten by the dragon! We must go and fight the dragon! Peace and calm, Louisa Freya, said the mayor. Peace and calm, it's better that a few people be eaten than the whole town be destroyed. Nonsense, said Louisa Freya. The second week, the name that was pulled out of the basket was Anna, who lived at the dairy. Louisa Freya went to her father again. Not Anna, please not Anna. I sit next to her at school. She's really nice. You can't let her be eaten by the dragon. We've got to go and fight the dragon. Peace and calm, Louisa Freya, said the mayor. Peace and calm, it's far better that a few people are eaten than the whole town be destroyed. Nonsense, said Louisa Freya. The third week, when the mayor pulled the piece of paper from the basket, his face turned the colour of a winter dusk, because there on the paper was the name, Louisa Freya, daughter of the mayor. Well, of course Louisa Freya won't be sent to the dragon, said the mayor, but I need her around. I'll pull again. Nonsense, said Louisa Freya. That paper has my name on it, and I will go to the dragon." And with that, she went into her kitchen. She found the sharpest knife that she could find, and she strapped it to herself with her belt, put her coat on, and marched out of town to find the dragon. When she got to the disused quarry where the dragon was living, she went straight up to it, and the dragon could only be bothered to lift up 2 of its 7 heads. "Oh," said one of the heads, "you're just a slip of a girl. I had been hoping for something more nutritious." "Yes," said the other head. "The last one that came was a similar size." "Well, I'm sorry about that," said Louisa Freya. "And about this," and she drew her knife and lopped off one of the heads. It fell to the ground and started to laugh. "That's odd," said Louisa Freya. "I didn't know that being beheaded was so amusing." "I'm laughing at you, silly girl," said the head. "Did you honestly think that you could defeat us, a little slip of a girl like you? Not even the strongest knights can manage it." And with that, the neck reached back down to the head, picked it up, and all of a sudden it was attached again. "Oh, that's interesting," said Louisa Freya. But quick as a flash, she took the knife, and this time she cut off the 2 heads that had spoken to her, and as they fell to the floor, they shouted things. "Fool! Stupid! Do you really think you can win?" And they both lay on the floor laughing. Well, Louisa Freya lost her patience with that. She took one of the heads and used the knife to cut out its tongue. "There," she said. "Now at least you can't make fun of me while I'm trying to kill you." The head without the tongue lay still and silent on the floor. The other head, which had attached itself back to the neck, didn't have anything to say for itself. 5 more heads were looking a little bit worried. "Aha," said Louisa Freya. "You may have discovered our secret, but you're still not going to win. I've had enough of playtime now. Dinner time." And all 6 remaining heads licked their lips. "We'll see about that," said Louisa Freya. Now, if you had been standing there, all you would have seen from now on was a blur. Louisa Freya went running away from the heads. She leapt over necks and under necks, round the back of rocks and through again, over the necks and under the necks, and when she had finished, the 6 necks were plaited in a tight plait with 6 angry heads snapping at the end. "Now then," said Louisa Freya, and she took the knife and hacked through the thick rope of necks until all the heads had fallen to the floor. Then carefully, she removed all of the tongues and put them in her pocket. Then she left the knotted dragon there and set off back home. Meanwhile, back in the town, Louisa Freya's father, the mayor, had been putting up posters everywhere, asking for a dragon slayer who could come and rescue his daughter. And a knight who was riding through the town thought that that might be a good way of making some money. And also he didn't currently have a wife, and so he was attracted by the bit at the bottom of the poster that said that he could have Louisa Freya's hand in marriage. He rode out to see what the dragon was like, and was only a little bit disappointed to find that it was already dead. But seeing the heads lying there on the floor gave him an idea. He picked them up, put them in his saddlebags, and galloped back to the town, overtaking Louisa Freya on his way. Then he rode straight up to the mayor. "I have defeated the dragon, and your daughter is safe and sound. She was a little overwhelmed by fear, but she's just making her way and she'll be here any moment." Just then, a familiar voice shouted from the gateway. "Nonsense," said Louisa Freya. Her father, the mayor, was overjoyed to see her. "Peace and calm, my dear, peace and calm. All will be well now. Here is your brave new husband who has defeated the dragon." Louisa Freya walked calmly up to her father. "This man is lying to you, and I can prove it. There is something missing from all of the heads that he has in his saddlebags. Look inside their mouths." Well, the mayor went up, looked into one of the saddlebags and found the heads, opened the mouth and had a look inside. "Where are the tongues, my good man?" he asked the knight. The knight had nothing to say. Louisa Freya reached into her pocket, pulled out the bunch of 7 tongues and said, "I've got them, because I was the one who killed the dragon. You see, I've realised that the tongue is the most powerful part of the body. With your tongue, you can encourage people and say good things, or," and here she looked at the knight, "you can tell lies." Well, the knight was sent into exile, and Louisa Freya didn't have to marry anybody. In fact, from that day forward, her father paid a lot more attention to what his daughter said, and eventually Louisa Freya became the mayor herself. But she was never known as Louisa Freya the mayor. From that day onwards, everybody always called her Louisa Freya, Dragon Slayer. Did you like that story? Louisa Freya is a great character, isn't she? Do you think it would be fun to be like Louisa Freya, making all your own decisions? I think anybody could be like Louisa Freya. But I wonder how important it is that she was a girl in that story. What do you think? Perhaps that's something that you could talk about with your friends and teachers later on. But for now, it only remains for me to say Happy International Women's Day, and I hope to hear your story soon. So, Happy International Women's Day, and I hope to hear your story